Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, let's put in the work. Uncle Frank learned a lot this past week. Let's see if we can disseminate all this information and make a call on where we're heading next. The S&P 500 finished at 6603, gaining 0.98% on Friday. So we lost 2.06% last week, but are still up 12.26% year to date. And at this level, we're 317 points below the 52-week high of 69.20. The NASDAQ closed at 24,239, up 0.77% on Friday, but lost 3.34% for the week. Year to date is still up 15.36%, and at this level, it's now 1,942 points below its 52-week high of 26,182. The Russell 2000, the small cap index, closed at 2369, up 2.8% on Friday, but lost 0.78% for the week. Year to date, the index is up 6.37%, and at this level, it's 172 points under its 52-week high of 2541. Gold finished at $4,079.50 on Friday, up $19.50 or 0.48%. For the week, the metal was largely sideways, losing only 0.20%. But the headline is gold's year to date, up 56.54%, and at this price is about $300 below its all-time high of $43.7913 per troy ounce, which it reached on October 17th of this year. If you do gold, you have to do silver, which closed at 49.913 on Friday, losing 0.77%. Silver gave up more than gold over the past 5 days, shedding 1.34%. But did you know silver is up more than gold year to date? At this price, silver is up 71.49% YTD and is now only $2.71 below its all-time high of $52.63 per troy ounce, also reached in October of this year. I think it's important to note that all the primary precious metals are up over 55% so far this year, led by silver, followed by platinum, gold, and then palladium. So what's hanging over the market's head? The AI bubble. At Polymarket, 3% of participants are wagering that the AI bubble will burst by the end of this year, December 31st. At the time of this recording, 18% are betting that the bubble will burst by the end of the first quarter of next year, 2026. But 46%, the largest group, are betting that it will happen before the end of 2026. What's your guess? At the time of this recording, a $20 bet that the AI bubble will burst by December 31st of this year would pay $577. But wagering isn't allowed in my jurisdiction just yet. Now, I'm not a big sports bettor, but I wanted to share this wager with my subscribers. On October 19th, I bet Seattle Seahawks receiver Jackson Smith would break the NFL single-season receiving record. According to AI, he is currently on pace to do so if he maintains his performance for the rest of the season. Through the first 11 weeks, he leads the NFL in receiving yards and has consistently put up high yardage totals, setting himself up to potentially shatter the record held by Calvin Johnson. So a $2 bet he does it pays $17. A $5 bet that he's named Offensive Player of the Year pays 25, but wide receivers have only achieved that 5 times in NFL history. Jerry Rice won it twice. Now, the real long shot bet is that Jackson is somehow declared the regular season MVP. No wide receiver has ever won that, but every dollar pays 101 if he pulls it off. Now, one bet I did win was thanks to my buddy Paulie Malignaggi beating Tyler Goodjohn in a bare-knuckle fight in England recently. You have to give it up for Paulie. He's 44 years old. He was an AMC ape back in the day. He's a big supporter of XRP and Archer Aviation and a subscriber to this channel. $100 paid $290. Thanks, champ. And the crypto market cap had a shitty day, a shitty week, down 10.38%. At the time of this recording, a shitty month, down 20.77%. A shit year to date, dropping 10.85% YTD. Well, hell, let's just say it. A shit year, down 11.48%. And since the shit projects, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are 70% of this entire market, I blame them. Do you want to know why Paul Atkins of the SEC delayed the XRP ETFs multiple times? Why he was sure to delay them into the government shutdown time window, the worst in our nation's history? Because he was told to. That's why I've mentioned in previous videos to think like your enemies. When would be the absolute worst time you could imagine to launch an avalanche of XRP spot ETFs? Oh, I'll tell you when, right now. I hear Rich Dad Poor Dad Robert Kiyosaki first bought Bitcoin at 6,000. Nice trade, right? He said he would keep buying Bitcoin until it passed 100,000. Well, it did. So what's he doing now? Robert Kiyosaki dumps $2.25 million in Bitcoin, but stays bullish. Now, this is how we started out last week. Trump supports release of Epstein files and Bitcoin erases 2025 gain. Guys, at this late date, do you really think these people don't know when these things are going to happen and in what order? I know they know better than we do, that's for sure. Recent releases of documents and emails have revealed Jeffrey Epstein's indirect involvement with Bitcoin, primarily through covert funding of the MIT Media Lab's Digital Currency Initiative, or DCI, and his lobbying for cryptocurrency regulation. Epstein's foundations donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the MIT Media Lab, which then funded its DCI. The lab's director, Joy Ito, actively solicited and concealed the donations from Epstein even after his 2008 sex crimes conviction. And there's the headline. Director of MIT's Media Lab resigns after taking money from Jeffrey Epstein. The tainted donations were used by the DCI to pay the salaries of Bitcoin core developers who were unaware of the money's true source. This funding was critical during a financially difficult period for the Bitcoin Foundation around 2015. The House Oversight Committee has already released 65,000 documents related to Epstein and now is demanding financial records from JP Morgan Chase, Deutsche Bank, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Back in 2023, we learned that Peter Thiel was the latest billionaire said to have met with Jeffrey Epstein. There is extensive documentation of meetings and financial ties between Epstein and Thiel. Thiel acknowledged meeting with Epstein a few times in 2014, reportedly introduced by another Silicon Valley executive. Epstein's schedules also show planned lunches and meetings with Thiel in the following years. Email exchanges show that Epstein and Thiel communicated on several occasions, with Epstein at one point emailing Thiel, quote, "That was fun. See you in 3 weeks." Epstein was a significant investor in Valor Ventures, a venture capital firm co-founded by Thiel. Epstein's initial $40 million investment in the firm is now reportedly worth millions more for his estate. In 2018, Epstein invited Thiel to visit his Caribbean island, but a representative for Peter Thiel stated that he never visited the island. But Mr. Thiel doesn't just have personal and financial connections to Epstein and Bitcoin. He has a history with Vitalik Buterin and Ethereum as well. That's Vitalik on the left, carrying a cat head purse and wearing purple gloves. In 2014, Vitalik Buterin received a $100,000 grant from the Thiel Foundation to work on Ethereum full-time. Both Thiel's Founders Fund and Buterin were investors in a $45 million funding round for the prediction market platform Polymarket back in May of 2024. And from this past week, Vitalik Buterin warns 20% quantum risk by 2030. Are Bitcoin and Ethereum truly in danger? Ethereum prioritizes quantum security as Vitalik warns of breakable cryptography by 2028. The Department of Justice recently seized a record $15 billion in Bitcoin from a cyber fraud operation based in Cambodia that targeted Americans. The DOJ indicted 38-year-old Chinese national Chen Zi for wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy and labeled his conglomerate of companies based out of Cambodia called the Prince Group as a transnational criminal organization. The government seized 127,000 Bitcoin from Chen's accounts, worth $15 billion at the time, much of it received from unsuspecting American victims. Earlier from this month, Bitcoin was dealt another serious blow. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, addressed whether central banks should include Bitcoin in their reserves. She said reserves must be liquid, secure, and safe, and added that they should avoid any suspicion of money laundering or criminal activity. She made her position clear when stating she is confident that Bitcoins will not enter the reserves of any of the central banks. Her comments reflect the collective view within the ECB's governing bodies that reserve assets must exhibit specific qualities tied to operational reliability and regulatory clarity. Most of you will remember when Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse testified before the Senate back in July ahead of key crypto bills, the Genius Act and the Clarity Act. Brad appeared alongside other industry leaders, including Summer Mersinger, CEO of the Blockchain Association and former CFTC Commissioner, Jonathan Levin, CEO of Chainalysis, and Dan Robinson, head of research at Paradigm, former CFTC Chair Timothy Masad, and ethics lawyer Richard Painter, all testified. Now, do you understand why they didn't send someone from Bitcoin or Ethereum to represent the crypto and blockchain industries? Those were the projects they were all protecting and pumping while they were delaying XRP's progress in multiple ways. Why didn't they send Satoshi from Bitcoin? Oh, that's right. You don't even know if he exists or is alive. You already knew it had Epstein problems, and rumors persist to this day it was an NSA creation. Now, I couldn't get this Instagram video on the left to work for me, but this is Vitalik Buterin playing with a balloon in a parking lot. I'm wondering, why didn't you send him to testify in front of the senators? I can understand why you wouldn't send Bitcoin, because you can't say what you know about it out loud, and it could come back to bite you in the ass. But why not send this Russian-born Canadian guy? You have 9 Ethereum ETFs trading in the US alone. You fought every XRP ETF tooth and nail, especially the spot ones, from getting approved. I'm wondering why the 2 biggest crypto projects on the planet weren't invited to speak in front of the Senate ahead of 2 bills of such huge importance. So when we get a rate cut, crypto goes down. When the government reopens, crypto goes down. If they say we're not going to get a rate cut in December, crypto goes down. If we launch an ETF, XRP goes down. There was no October, no alt season, and November, when all our ETFs are finally being permitted to launch, we're in the middle of a shitstorm. Bitcoin is suddenly the Epstein coin, but XRPC squeaked out. How did it do? Canary Capital's XRPC, the first U.S. XRP spot exchange-traded fund, marked an impressive debut in the past week with $58.5 million in trading volume, which is the highest for any ETF launched this year across more than 900 fund launches. So let's go to the block. XRP ETF tracker. Here are the live ones. I count 7, 2 spot, 5 futures. But really, only 1 true spot XRP ETF in my opinion so far, and that's Canary's XRPC. And you couldn't have asked for a better debut than number 1 out of 900 this year. So here's XRP since the most successful ETF launch of the year. That's that black line. Couldn't have picked the worst time to launch it, but this time was selected for us. With all of crypto crashing, the AI bubble looming over the market's head, I had hoped XRP would decouple from Bitcoin and the crypto market in general, but that has yet to happen. You see that square? That's Ripple's swell, the 4th and 5th. Kenny G's group invested $500 million in Ripple pre-IPO. Ripple announced a collaboration with MasterCard, WebBank, and Gemini to test using Ripple's RLUSD, not XRP, to settle fiat credit card transactions on the XRP ledger. Another pilot program. And what happened? Nothing. If that would have been XDC, Algo, any fintech coin, it would have skyrocketed. But I'm getting used to this shit by now. So now back to the block. Okay, here's the ETFs still on the bench. I count 9, 4 futures-based and 5 spot ones. But the table is missing Franklin Templeton's ETF, the most important one in my opinion. So let's call it 10 altogether. 6 more spot ETFs coming. Now, this is from Saturday, 3 XRP ETFs ready for imminent launch. According to Bloomberg intelligence analyst James Seyffert, the upcoming week might be eventful with the Grayscale and Franklin Templeton spot XRP ETFs expected to launch November 24th. Okay, so Monday, the Franklin Templeton spot ETF is on the launch pad along with Grayscale. On Friday, someone posted a letter from the SEC that the Franklin Temp XRP spot ETF is finally done. The ticker will be EZRP, so we could see 2 go live on Monday, right? In a recent tweet, Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas also indicated that the Grayscale XRP spot ETF is scheduled for a Monday launch. Investment management firm 21 Shares posted a countdown tweet. XRP Army, get ready. This was responded to by popular XRP Ledger Explorer XRP Scan saying, "What's the ticker?" So 21 Shares has also secured approval for its XRP ETF. This approval allows the firm to move forward with launching the 21 shares XRP ETF set to begin trading next week on the CBOE BZX exchange under the ticker symbol TOXR. As reported, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse indicated that a pre-Thanksgiving rush for XRP ETFs has started while reacting to Bitwise's XRP ETF launch. From last week, XRP scored another pure play 33 Act ETF in the US. The Bitwise XRP ETF with ticker symbol XRP began trading on the New York on Thursday, marking an impressive debut. The Bitwise XRP ETF reported $25.7 million in trading volume with $107.6 million in inflows and a 0.34% management fee, with the fee set at 0% for the first month on the first $500 million in assets. Okay, so November, as you know, there is no Fed meeting scheduled. The next one will be December 9th with a rate decision on the 10th. Thanksgiving Day, the stock and bond markets are closed, but Black Friday, the stock market closes early at 1 p.m. Eastern. The bond market will close at 2. So Canary Capital launched on the 13th. Amplify on the 18th. That's the one that pays 3% per month, symbol XRPM. And Bitwise on the 20th. The ISO 222 deadline has finally arrived, so that's live. The remaining XRP ETFs awaiting full approval and the start of trading include 21 shares. That should go live this coming week on the CBOE, symbol TOXR. CoinShares, that was expected to begin trading on the 22nd, which makes no sense. That was a Saturday, so maybe any minute on that one. Franklin Templeton, the big dog, that should go live Monday, possibly delayed till Tuesday, we'll see. Grayscale, the trust conversion, that one should also come Monday, like Franklin Temps. Wisdom Tree, that could come Tuesday the 25th. You should also know ProShares, Rex Osprey, and Tuttle may have some additional futures and leverage products in the pipeline coming out as well. So we have one crazy, explosive week coming up here with potentially 4 more XRP ETFs going live. Let's see what else can happen to us before Thanksgiving. Okay, so Monday the 24th, all I care about is Franklin Templeton going live. That's it. Tuesday the 25th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, retail sales and PPI. Now that's an inflation reading, so if it comes in hot, that hurts our chances for a rate cut next month and could hurt crypto. But everything lately hurts crypto. Up, down, hot, cold, in, out. No matter what news we get lately, it hurts crypto somehow. Wednesday the 26th, initial jobless claims, 8:30 a.m. So this time, if this comes in hot, that improves our chances for a cut. Now, I don't know why all these recent tech layoffs aren't spiking these numbers. When you get laid off, typically people file for unemployment, but what do I know? Okay, that's the NYSE 2025 trading calendar. MSCI index rebalance on Monday the 24th. Tuesday the 25th, that's the short interest release day, where we get to see all the Wall Street shenanigans. Yes, I know they can manipulate the numbers. They can mark short orders as longs, but they can't hide them all, so I'm going to check them anyway at Chart Exchange. And I will peek at FTDs, cost to borrow, and short position change on all my favorite heavily shorted stocks. And look, guys, here's the last slide I'm doing on ISO 222. RippleNet and R3 Corda-Code confirm XRP's ISO and SWIFT-ready infrastructure. Here's the proof. Direct code evidence indicates that RippleNet utilizes ISO standards, including references to the official list. R3 Corda's codebase imports XRP-related modules such as XRP payment and XRP settlement which demonstrates that XRP is built directly into its settlement logic. Any network connecting to SWIFT must support ISO 20022, and the code demonstrates XRP already meets that requirement. ISO compatibility improves data quality, reduces errors, and enables richer, standardized payment messaging, making XRP more attractive for banks. Okay, guys, let me make this easy on you. Two things need to happen with XRP. Number one, institutions need to start using it for its intended purpose. Trillions of dollars in cross-border payments. That's one thing Wall Street can't fuck with. It's that simple. Number two, we need Ripple to announce its IPO, which will be a barn burner, no doubt in my mind. And maybe then we can stop selling 1 billion XRP every month to finance the business ambitions and acquisitions of Ripple. It would also help if Ripple would tell us what they plan to do with the 40 billion coins they hold. Are we going to lease them out, share, or sell them to central banks, the IMF? Give us a hint other than dumping 1 billion a month to pay Ripple's bills. So this is what they're all talking about this weekend. The ISO portal now shows an approved request to activate Ripple's Interledger on the SWIFT network, signaling a major step towards seamless cross-network interoperability just as the global migration begins. Okay, if this doesn't translate to using XRP, not RLUSD, for cross-border payments, I don't care anymore. Finally, someone other than me said it out loud. My favorite headline of the weekend. Schwartz claims other revenue reduces Ripple's need to sell XRP. With diversified income, the company does not have to sell XRP to fund its activities, which should be reassuring to holders. David Schwartz, Chief Technology Officer at Ripple, has opined that new revenue models could reduce the need for XRP sales. Quote, how is it better if Ripple feels more pressure to sell more XRP if the price drops? I would agree. Wouldn't you think other sources of income reduce this pressure? Schwartz said in a recent social media post. Guys, wouldn't it be better if on December 1st, Ripple sells its monthly billion tokens at 3, 350, or 4 than at 2, right? Ripple, the company associated with the XRP token, has two main business arms: XRP sales on the open market, as well as enterprise products and services such as RippleNet and cross-border payment solutions. Guys, all of our money comes from XRP sales. A significant portion of Ripple's operational revenue historically came from selling XRP from its corporate holdings. The Financial Times, for instance, previously reported that the enterprise blockchain firm would not be profitable without selling XRP. Schwartz also previously admitted that XRP accounts for virtually all of Ripple's revenue. Guys, do you know what else would help? Announcing your IPO, because that will raise billions and reduce the need to sell XRP tokens. You follow? Now, guys, I like the Black Swan capitalist. I like this theory, but I need to see more evidence. Here's when XRP will stop following the market. I call that decoupling. I believe XRP should trade independently of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the crypto market. I think it should trade on its own merit. According to BSC, holding XRP is basically owning a seat on the lifeboat before everyone realizes the ship is sinking. When the debt bubble pops and the speculation layer collapses, XRP won't follow the market. It will separate from it. I hope he's right. Now, I do have a comment on long-term technicals on XRP. From yesterday, XRP is sitting right on its 20-month EMA. Holding or losing this moving average has generally signaled the direction for price action. XRP could use this for a springboard to higher prices, or if Bitcoin and crypto resume their decline, we need to watch this support level. The price of XRP is 204 as of November 23rd, and it has recently been testing its 20-month exponential moving average, which was cited at $1.90 as of November 20th. The XRP price has moved to test this long-term support level after a significant decline. On top of the 20-month EMA, this could turn out to be a significant chart pattern when you view it in light of the new ETFs coming to market. XRP is double retesting its double bottom breakout, a key bullish setup that could define its next major move. Market cycle analyst Gert Van Lagen, who specializes in large-scale pattern identification, noted a double retest of the double bottom breakout on XRP's monthly chart. The formation began developing between 2021 and 2025 with a key neckline near $1. XRP has tested this neckline twice, a characteristic retest often observed in long-term reversal patterns. Van Lagen compared the structure to a similar pattern that formed from 2014 to 2017, which preceded a significant breakout. So I'm watching this double bottom pattern here. Okay guys, I started working on this video Saturday and finished Sunday. It's been a tough month for XRP and most of crypto. At the time of this recording, 9:42 a.m. Sunday, we're at 205, down over 17% for the month. I hope I prepared you for next week's action, and I've got some new stocks and crypto to look at once we get through this week. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.